Well, this is something that I am so excited to get my hands on. Space Marine 2 and IGN have just dropped another trailer. Okay, first of all, this is going to be showing some new gameplay and new extra bits. And more importantly, we're actually going to be getting revealed more information about Space Marine 2. And I cannot wait to delve into what this game has got to offer.
The newest installment in the Warhammer 40,000 franchise. Brought to you by Saber Interactive and Focus Entertainment. I'm Oliver Hollis-Like, creative director on the project.
See, look how cool that is. You can tell the scale, the amount of love and effort that's been put into this. This is a Space Marine here. These guys are supposed to be like 9 foot, 10 foot, right?
Creative director on the project. And today I'm going to take you on a tour of the game's story, game modes, progression, and a whole lot more. Giving you a taste of what's to come when the game releases.
There is something for like bloody shooters that we just don't have too much. I mean, Doom, Rage tried to do it as well, but having something that is definite going into leaning into the bloody third-person shooter is so beautiful, and this game looks gorgeous. They're definitely bringing back those jump packs as well, which were incredible in the first game, and the upgrading graphics is unlike anything that I've seen before.
2 story begins a century after the events of the first game. Captain Demetrian Titus is a genetically enhanced super soldier and hero of the Ultramarines.
We will eradicate your kind from the galaxy.
So they are bringing back Titus, who in the first game was being played by Mark Strong. Now it's being played by the guy who was in Vikings. What's his name? Clive Standen. Okay, Clive, I remember your name. But don't get it twisted. This Clive Standen guy is not just a stand-in for Mark Strong. He seems to be taking back this character and pushing it and progressing it to its next, well, its inevitable next stage. As they mentioned, this is a century after the first game. So I think a lot of it's going to be a bit disconnected, but I'm excited to see where they take the story still.
Titus has returned to the Ultramarines.
You're a lieutenant now.
Where he is demoted to lieutenant.
Will that be a problem? No, Captain.
And forced to prove his loyalty in the heat of battle. On a distant world, he must face one of humanity's most fearsome adversaries, the Tyranids. As you take control...
I cannot wait to see all the takedowns. In the first game, that was so incredible. Being able to get enemies down to a certain health and then press a button and do the most awesome takedowns on them, whether it was some WWE moves, using jump packs to slam down on enemies, and of course, using your chainsaws to cut through them in the most bloody and spectacular way.
Control of Titus and his fellow battle brothers, Chiron and Gadriel.
Is Chiron the Scottish guy?
A war of galactic proportions.
This is co-op, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but there's going to be up to 3 other players that you're going to be able to.
On screen at the same time.
Now, this is something I wanted to speak about. You can see there, they've mentioned hundreds of real enemies on screen at the same time. And there are a lot of similarities between that and what we saw in World War Z. And that's because, as far as I'm aware, I think Saber Interactive, World War Z game, I think they were also, yes, Saber Interactive also made World War Z. And this is perfect. It looks like we're going to definitely be going to more of a horde shooter like a World War Z than initially the first game ever had. Because, don't get me wrong, that title had a lot of enemies and there was always stuff to do within it, but it was still felt very linear. I think this is going to feel a little bit more open, and the scale is going to be humongous, especially with enemies like these that will be swarming, climbing on top of each other, and it's going to feel like an inevitable horde that you've just got to sweep through with, well, various weaponry. And you can see that here. This is just World War Z reskin of Tyranids, and it's gorgeous.
As far as the eye can see, you must repel a Tyranid invasion and rid the system of the Xenos threat. Battling in the claustrophobic jungles of Kadaku, the majestic planet-spanning metropolis of Avarax.
The huge scale and size is something I'm going to be looking forward to seeing. I want to know how open these missions are as well. And this looks like to be some sort of a hub. Yeah, it looks like we're going for like a Dark Tide style hub as well, where you can use missions and get upgrades. Oh my god, look how cool that looks. Look how cool that looks. Oh.
Tailor your loadout to your upcoming mission.
Oh, Warhammer!
Whether you prefer close combat or ranged warfare, the Ultramarine's wide range of equipment offers you an array of devastating weapons and unique special abilities. A balanced approach is certainly wise, since performing a brutal
Yes,
melee
look at those
finisher
takedown
replenishes your
finishers.
armor and keeps you in the fight for longer.
Okay, so it does seem they do have a mechanic a lot like the first game where takedowns and extra special finishes do help your character. Think of it like a Rise Son of Rome. Okay, try not to think this game too much like Rise Son of Rome, but where you get these extra takedowns and finishes, you get better armor, you can get better skills and upgrades and XP, and that will help you later on.
Shred the enemies of humanity with the iconic chainsword. Liquefy them with the melter rifle. Or crush them with the mighty thunderhammer. How you vanquish the Tyranid invaders is entirely up to you.
Your duty is not yet done.
Here we go, co-op
Beyond the
mode. This
story
is the thing that
campaign,
I've been
you'll
looking
find
forward to.
operations-
I love how they're adding this in now, and it is such a good improvement. Don't get me wrong, single player games are all the rage, and it seems like they're coming back in a big way, especially with titles like GTA 6 on the way, Witcher 3 getting its red kit, Cyberpunk being improved. But the co-op games, I just miss co-op from back in the day, like a true co-op experience. And this, hopefully, is going to bring that back in a big way. And we've had Darktide, which is probably the closest we can get, but that was less story-orientated and more like arena shooter and going into certain, more smaller enclosed missions. Hopefully, you're going to be able to get your team to go throughout the whole of this game and follow the narrative together. And that's why it's not just Titus. You have your other Space Marines that will be following you as well, in case they are either played by AI or, in this case, other players.
Here, the focus is on cooperation and replayability.
And it's not going to be
Players
that
run
organized.
6 classes with unique skills.
Okay, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this. So we've got our tactical class. I'm assuming that's going to be our generic soldier. He's going to have a bolt gun. He's going to be going in there fast firing, and he's going to be dealing a lot of damage very quickly. Assault looks like he's going to be more melee up front, doing his kind of thing. And of course, he's got the jump pack, so he's going to be getting in there shock trooper style. Vanguard, is that some sort of... Oh my god, this is where my Warhammer knowledge is very, very limited. Some sort of grapple gun. Once again, Vanguard would normally mean being the first into the battle. He's got a knife as well. Fast melee attacks. I'm assuming it's going to be get in there, get out. Not necessarily have a load of health, but deal a lot of damage very fast. Bulwark, that's going to be our tank. He's got a shield and he's got a sword as well. Looks goddamn awesome. Sniper, very self-explanatory. And heavy, he's going to be our heavy gunner sitting at the back. He's got full armor as well. And he's got heavy MG. Looks goddamn gorgeous. And these are all going to be chosen by you, so you can have and make up your squad with different players choosing different roles, I'm assuming.
Unique skills and abilities.
Oh, look at that customization. Is that not one of the most gorgeous things you've ever seen?
Customize them to make them your own. Whether you prefer the sniper's stealth cloak and long-range capabilities, the Vanguard's grapnel
Oh, look at him! Okay, yeah, the
Bulwark's chapter banner and storm shield combination.
Okay, now we're getting a breakdown of the
Space Marine
classes.
Specialty, along
Look
with
at
those of your
that.
squad
I'm fighting
mates,
Chaos Space Marines as well. Yes. There is a multiplayer mode that's going to be in there. I don't know if they're going to speak about it, but we'll see.
For your Space Marine.
Something we do know as well, they've just mentioned cosmetics. There's not going to be, as far as I'm aware, any paid stuff extra in there, or even pre-orders. And don't hold me to that, because I might embarrass myself by saying that, but that's what I've been told. But I've got a feeling they're going to add in cosmetic microtransactions, because
XP and
they always
armory
do.
data that you can spend in the battle barge's armory to unlock new class perks and improve your armament's
Look at
performance.
those takedowns. Yes. Okay, now we've got the Eternal War. This is the PvP mode
If you're
that's
into
going to be
more competitive
multiplayer.
challenges, well then,
And the most interesting thing about this, I'm going to see if it actually makes some sort of PvP scene or multiplayer scene within Space Marine, because that's never been a thing before. You got your Halos, your Call of Duties, your Battlefields, and that's about it, really, in terms of big PvP games. And I'm looking forward to seeing if they can make something with Warhammer, because there is such a plethora of world and lore, troops, skills, weaponry, everything that you can delve into that is a pre-set up PvP game. But nobody's done it properly. I think there was a couple of PvP attempts back in the day. I think there's a Tau one, or at least a first-person Tau game. But I think in terms of Warhammer, it is the most perfect to at least be a replacement for Halo these days, because Halo Infinite has gone down the drain somewhat. Maybe Space Marine 2 could be the first thing as championing in that, because I'd love to see, well, I'd love to see PvP shooters come back, FPS shooters come back in a big way, because I miss Halo. I really do. And this could be, well, the next best thing.
You're in for a treat. Enter the fray in our eternal...
Oh, Plague Marine. Okay, that looks gorgeous. Sorry, guys, I am actually just taking screenshots of every single thing.
Enter the fray.
Did you look at him? Look at him.
Our eternal war
Do you see what I'm seeing? Okay, so it's definitely third person. You can use jump axe as well. Okay, I just need to take a second to have a look at all these guys. The armor design and the different chapters that we're going with as well is goddamn gorgeous. Like, I absolutely love. You can tell the people that are designing this game adore Warhammer in every sense of the word. Look at every single type of detail that's been put into it, every chapter that's being used, all the different arms and armors as well. Oh, makes me so excited. I want to play as a Plague Marine. I love Plague Marines. There's Khorne as well there.
Choose your preferred rule set, be it the intense Annihilation Deathmatch, strategic Seize Ground, or the exhilarating Capture and Control. Then engage in adrenaline pumping.
They are really pushing this multiplayer. This is not just an add-on. This is actually going to be like a big feature of the game. They are going to put this as front and center. This game is going to be so much bigger than I thought it would be. And does this not look like it could be the perfect replacement to Halo? I mean, Destiny didn't manage to do it, but... Oh, is that a Titan? Look at him. Well, this looks like we're back in the single player because there's a Tyranid there, but... Okay, they have done so much more work since we've last seen bits of gameplay. They have put so much more effort into showing off some of the gameplay. That was a Dreadnought, by the way. That is goddamn gorgeous. And showing off the multiplayer for the first time is something very, very exciting, because I'm so glad it's not just an add-on. I'm so glad that they're actually putting this as a fully fledged feature. And I know we've just seen Napalm Tyranids, but I cannot get over this. So... the multiplayer is looking very fleshed out. It's looking very strong. It's looking like with multiple game modes, and it looks very clean as well. It does not look like they're going for like a janky FPS. There's going to be some actual skill sets here, and maybe even some chances for a competitive scene in the multiplayer. And that is hoping that they put some good balance in, because that's always the hardest bit. But having the aesthetic and having the armor like that is the first step to make something goddamn gorgeous. And that's not to say that multiplayer is going to be the main feature that I look for. I think it's going to be a great add-on, but of course we've got an Imperial Guards here along with Titus. This is going to be mainly a single player and co-op game. I'm just hoping that they manage to do this story justice. I'm so glad that the Warhammer 40k world is getting more of a look in now. It's been so long since we've had real solid games that, well, that aren't hex-based tabletop titles. And I'm not talking about actual tabletop, I mean strategy games. The RTS genre, sure, is thriving for Warhammer, but things like this are few and far between. But not anymore. So, once again, as much as I hate to say it, thanks to IGN for showing this off. I'm really happy that we've seen this. And it's just got me way more hyped for the game. When does it actually come out? I can't actually remember. September 9th. So we've still got a way to go. We've got a couple more months before we get any sort of looking on this. But I'm going to be playing it, and I cannot wait to bring you more information on it. So make sure you stick around the channel for that.